Bum, bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, 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 bum. Hello! In this video, I'm going to be doing, I suppose, a review of Deadzone Command Protocol's Escalation, the new book from Mantic Games for Deadzone. Now, this has been a thing since 2018. Mantic's done a yearly update book, I suppose you could say, for Deadzone. They've been doing it since, I think it's 2017 for Kings of War. They probably do it for Vanguard as well. Not done it for Warpath, but that's a topic for another time. But the first yearly update book they did was Outbreak, and that was pretty good because it contained some new ways to play, some updates to the old ways, 2 new factions, new units for each faction, some elite army lists, you know, stuff that if it was just a book with errata stuff, it really wouldn't be very good. Kings of War 2018 book, cough cough. But this one continues this trend. The last one, Outbreak, was 15 quid. This one's 15 quid and it's 130 pages. It's probably 100 pages is dedicated to the army lists. If you don't include the Mercs army list, there's about 30 pages that's dedicated to new stuff or updates and whatnot. And you know, I think most other war games charge a similar sort of price for just the new stuff, if not more. I mean, some companies would charge what's 20-25 quid for 30 page stuff, new stuff. So I think taking just for the new stuff, it's worth it, because it's not just update stuff, it's new ways to play, new faction, new units in factions, and so on and so forth. But I mean, this does open up another question of what does Mantic do now with their next update book? Do they just add new missions? Do they add 4-player missions? Do they do terrain hazards? Do they add bigger units like tanks into Deadzone? Personally, I'd say no to that, because they're just gonna have to sell off. They're just gonna have to get rid of Warframe altogether if they do that, which is kind of pointless. So yeah, the book is 120 pages long, so 30 pages that's worth 15 and 90 pages that's just army list, which, I mean, it's 120 pages for 15 quid, which a fair few rule books are this size anyway, and I know 15 quid for a yearly update book isn't much, and a lot of other companies will charge more for less, or just do little errata bits and whatnot. But I do think this is really good value for money, if that bothers you, which I know it does for a lot of people. A lot of the photography is actually new in this, which is really nice, and I really like the pictures. Not all of the photography is new, but quite a few bits are. And some of the artwork, yes, it's been taken from other pieces, but they've blown it up, and it does really look a lot better when it's expanded. For instance, from, I think it's the first edition Infestation book. I'll just show you this picture here. Oh, where's the camera? There it is. It was a bit smaller in the book, but I think they've blown it up a bit more. Let's see if there's any others like that. I'm sure there's a few. Let's see. Where is it? Ah, yeah. There's this one which again was from a first edition book, but I feel is a bit bigger now. It's Forge Fathers against Astarians, which is quite a nice image, I feel. And there's this one which I'm not sure if it's from Star Saga. I don't think I've actually seen it. But there's this one with some of the mercenaries from Star Saga. So in the book we've got mercenary strike teams, how to build a mercenary strike team. I thought they'd put this with the actual mercenaries and the mercenary strike team in the same place, but that bit's right at the start. It's a little nitpick, but it's there, you know, if it really bothers you. Then it goes to interactive scenery, which some you can get with the Terrain Mantics puts out, some you get with Star Saga, like the defense laser that comes with the scenery. The little satellite dish you get with the sprue with the defense laser on it. That's basically a heavy burst laser. You've got weapon racks, you've got explosive barrels, you've got power plants, you've got specimen tanks, terminals, loot crates and weapons racks. So, and if you've got enough of this, you can make it random what you put down, which is nice, Then you've got missions and secret missions, which Mantic have released a deck of random victory point cards, which the secret missions I don't think anyone bothered with in the first place, so this deck is probably better. I'd like to use it. I mean, I've got some, so we'll see. You've got the 8 main missions that was in the Outbreak book. Some was updated from the main 2nd edition book, some were new. You've then got 4 large-scale missions which use 2 mats put together. You could probably do a multiplayer game where it's 2v2, where 2 people are working together against 2 other people. That's entirely possible, I reckon, with the deployments and whatnot. Very interesting how this works. You've also got tactical asset missions, which I call danger missions because there's quite a few that use hazards, like bombardment coming from above. It's set out like the 2 forces that you and your opponent's using aren't really the main ones doing the fighting. I mean, it could be you're playing Forge Fathers and your opponent's playing Rebs, but it might be the Marauders versus the Enforcers. That sort of thing. There's also what's the thing? Time Bomb, which means you have to complete the objectives a lot faster. Hack, where obviously you hack things. Tactical assets, which mean your stuff costs less victory points. So that's an intriguing thing. There's 4 of them. Then you've then got the items, some that came from the original book, some that came from Outbreak and some of the other books. You've then got abilities which have either been altered from the main book or have brought in from either this book or some of the existing books. They've just basically put them all together so you don't have to keep buying the last one, which I've just put it out there. The only reason you buy some of the expansion books that have gone previous is for the elite lists, which some elite lists are good, but I've not seen many people use them. I've only ever used, I think, the one with Project Oberon in it for the Nameless. Not very good, I don't think. And the Star-Lord, what's it face with the little bulldog. That's not bad because you can use Forge Guard as troops, so just give them all auto cannons. That's fun. Doesn't work very well because you don't have many models, but it's fun. It's fun. Then you've got ability errata, which, you know, changes some abilities that are already there. Again, got some nice photos. Then got the mercenaries slash mercenary strike force. Manticav said, it's not in the book anywhere, but Manticav said you can use tier 1s, tier 1/2s and tier 2 mercenaries in your other strike force, like it said in the main book, where you can take one mercenary and put it in your strike force. Strange it's not said it in here, because I know you take it as read, but it would be nice if it's said. You can't take tier 3 mercenaries, which, okay, the point is, why would you? But I would argue in some cases they help you get some of your better stuff out cheaper. Like the ex-corp lab technician is a tier 3 mercenary. Take them in Forge Fathers, you could take a swathe of Storm Rage veterans with Hellstorm autocannons, because the lab technicians are only 6 points. So you're paying a 6-point tax instead of minimum a 14-point tax. Or is it 12? It's either 14 or 12-point tax, something like that. So I really do think it should have said you can take this tier mercenaries as mercenaries, or you can't take these as mercenaries in a other strike list. I do feel it should have put that in there. I know there's going to be an errata, but really should have been in there. Then the rest of it from page 42 onwards is the other forces from every other book, including a lot of new units for the Rebs and the Vermin, mainly from Star Saga. So yeah, I think honestly it's a really good book. Obviously if you don't play Deadzone, don't bother, but if you do want to get into Deadzone, the rule book is free online to download the rules and all the other bits, and this is 15 quid, so you're basically paying 15 quid for what the basic, the army lists, missions and the rest of it. I mean, you could buy the starter set if you want, which it's a pretty good idea. You get 2 pretty competent forces, you get a fair amount of terrain, you get good mat, you got hardback rulebook, which I know some people complain it's a bit small for the cost, but I'd say it's still pretty good myself. Not many companies do hardback rulebooks for 25 quid, I've noticed. It's usually 30 to 40, but you know, that's just me. So yeah, very good book, and that's it for now. Until another video.